Bark, bark, bark. You're ruining the story, let me tell you. That's hilarious. Like, how many times do, we say stuff and our dogs don't know what we're saying? Oh my gosh. I love starting off with those comic strips because I think they're super cute. So, this is a whole series on, separation anxiety. It is a stepping process. That's the biggest thing that I want you guys to get, because if you just, wake up and you think, okay, like tomorrow my dog's just going to be fine when I leave the house, you're probably going to not get there that quickly. Now, there's always exceptions to everything, of course, but generally the process is going to be slow, and it's going to be, these little baby steps. So today I wanted to progress to getting your dog to be comfortable as you're leaving the actual house or the apartment, wherever you live. Now, you want to think of it as a stepping stone from the other videos. So if you haven't watched the process with, getting your dog to be comfortable with you within sight, partially out of sight, and out of sight when you're at home with your dog, you want to start there. So again, you want to make sure you have a confinement area. And as we're progressing to the door, as you can see over here, it is really nice to have a confinement area where your dog can actually see the front door here. So I would have a gate here, right? So that my dog can't go with me to the front door. That's the idea of that confinement area. And then this gate would open and shut. So you're picking that comfortable location that your dog can be, more relaxed and feel like it's kind of their like Zen area, and you're setting it up to help them. And that can be a dog bed, whatever you need. Then you have that gate that you're going to come and go in. So when we start working with going towards the door, a lot of times that triggers a lot of dogs. So you have to do a whole stepping process. But throughout this whole process, you want to make sure you're picking up your keys. That's really, really important. Because we don't want to add that at the end. And if you keep your keys in a consistent location, then you'll pick them up from that consistent location. If generally your keys are in a variety of different spots, then you might want to, the easiest thing would be, if it would work for you, is to start keeping them in one location. If that's not possible, then you would work with picking up your keys from multiple locations as you're doing this process. So your dog's in the confinement area, okay? And you guys want to remember, we talked about this. So he's a cute little doggy. You're going to give them something to chew on, okay? So it's a Kong or a bully stick or something like that. So I'll get that out. And you're going to, physically put it in here. And you guys, again, I have YouTube videos on this. I shared it in, I think, the previous video that I did. And I'll put the playlist on this one again so you guys can physically, see some people, training this process with their dogs. So you give them something to chew on. You're in the confinement area with your dog. Now you're going to open up that gate, okay? So I'm going to open the gate up, which would be here. And then you're literally just going to walk towards the door, and it might just be this far. That might be as far as you go the first time. So it's just a few steps, and then when you left, you wanted to make sure you closed that confinement area. So now you're reopening it, shutting it, and then you're back in the confinement area with your dog. So you're physically back in here with them, okay? And then you're staying in that you remove the object that they're chewing on. You stay in this confinement area for, 20 to 30 seconds. And then you'll repeat the process. So the coming back in there and hanging with them kind of resets them, helps them, think, oh, mommy's home. Now you're going to leave. And again, the whole idea of this process is that your dog gets bored. They get so bored that they just start meditating or going to sleep. But it's going to take a long time for that to happen. It's going to take, quite a few weeks of doing this entire process before they're going to get to that point. So again, you're in the confinement area. You're going to give your dog the food-oriented toy. And then you're gonna come back over here. You're gonna open that gate, okay? Leave, shut the gate, and then you're on the other side, and then you're gonna go that same distance, and then you're gonna return, open the gate, shut that gate, and then come back in that confinement area with them, and then you're gonna remove the food object from them, and then you'll stay in this location in the confinement area for the 20 to 30 seconds. As your dog starts doing well with that approximation, then you'll go farther. So then you'll get to the point where you can, again, you want to give them the food-oriented toy before you leave. So you gave that to them. You're opening the gate. You're shutting the gate. Now you might, get to a point where you can go like halfway to the door. So I might go here, and then I'm going to return, open the gate, shut the gate, remove the food-oriented object, put it up, and then hang out in, the confinement area with your dog for another 20 to 30 seconds. You're not going to the next approximation until your dog is kind of like integrating that and feeling relaxed. It's going to take time for that to happen. And learning how to read your dog's behavior is really important. So if you haven't watched the video on, learning to read their behavior, make sure you watch that one so that you can tell that your dog is ready for the next step. Because again, they should be, feeling relatively relaxed before you can go to the next approximation. So you got to halfway to the door, then you would repeat that whole process again, halfway to the door, over and over and over and over and over. So you remember, you're taking a 30-minute chunk of time, and within those 30 minutes, you're coming and going from the confinement area. So the thing that sets us apart from the other ones that I showed you was we were working on a certain duration of time. This one, we're actually leaving the confinement area for a super, super short time period, so just a few seconds, and we're getting the dog to be comfortable as you're moving towards the door that you leave the house from. So whatever door you commonly leave from is the one that hopefully your dog can see from that confinement area. So once they're good to you, going halfway, then you're going to go farther. So again, you're here in the confinement area. You're giving your dog the food-oriented toy. Then you're going to open the gate. So that's a pretend gate. Then you're shutting that gate. Okay, your dog's in that area, and now you might walk 3/4 of the way to the door, okay? And then you immediately return, open the gate, shut the gate, pick up the food-oriented object, and then you're hanging out in the confinement area with your dog again for another 20 to 30 seconds. So as you're watching this video, it should sound like that I'm repeating myself, but then we're gradually going to the next step because we really want it to be boring and consistent for the dog. So then you repeat that one where you're going in and out of the confinement area, almost all the way to the door. And then when your dog is relaxed, that one, then you can start going to the door. So then, again, you're going to give the dog the food-oriented object. Now open the gate, shut the gate, and then now you're going to go all the way to the door, okay? So, angle this. Then at that point, you might just touch the doorknob. So that might be all you do, or just touch the door, or just walk to the door and not touch anything at all. Like if touching the door was too stressful for your dog, then you're not going to do that. And you're going to open the gate, shut it, remove the food-oriented object, and then hang out again for, in this area for another 20 to 30 seconds, right? So then you repeat that step over and over again. And then eventually we should get to a point where you can open and shut the door. And your goal is to actually be able to get to the point where you can open and shut that door numerous times within 30 minutes. So it might be like 30 times within that, 30-minute training time that you're doing. Because again, you're only going to be gone for, you know, a second or two. So it kind of depends on how long it takes for you to get to the door. Some of you, it might end up being closer to like 10 or 20, but you want it to be, you know, you're just able within that 30 minutes of time, you're just able to open the door, shut it, come back, open the door, shut it, come back, open the door, shut it, come back. And then from there, then you can go actually, once your dog is good at that, then you can go to leaving. So when you first start leaving, then again, you're going to do the same thing again. Say, give the Foodorian a toy, open the gate, shut it. When you open this door, you're only going to go out for a second. So notice how short of a time I'm gone. So I came back right away. And remember, you got to get your keys at, you know, when you are opening this gate and shutting it. I didn't talk about that in my demo, but we're always picking up the keys there before you're doing anything with the door. So then you want to get to the point where, you know, your dog is good with you being outside for, you know, a second, and then you gradually move it up to 30 minutes. And you really are probably going to be really going in small increments of time. So initially, you know, it might just be a second. That's all you can do for your full 30-minute training session. And then another day you might be able to do 2 seconds. And then another day you might be able to get up to 5. You got to do that gradual progress. And you're not leaving when you go out the door. You're not going into the car or doing any of that yet. We're just getting the dog to start being comfortable with you being outside the door and getting up to 30 minutes with you physically just standing outside the door. So again, that's going to take quite a few weeks and quite a few months for you to be able to accomplish that. So remember, you want to enjoy the journey. Message me if you struggle and you need support. I'm here. If you want to work with me privately, you know, you can drop me a message below and I can help you that way as well. Okay, guys, bye-bye.